Daniel Carter, welcome in and thank you for being in the live this evening. Devin, good evening and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year. Along with JW, thank you both for being in with the I Told You So badge. So good evening to everybody. And I know I came on a little bit later this evening as I wanted to tie this into the weekly candle close. So I did come on just a little bit later here this evening. And we'll tie this into about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for the next 40 or more minutes, we'll spend some time together and we'll take a look at XRP as it is down today about 0.38% as Bitcoin's up better than 3.2% on the day. So we'll definitely take a look at what's going on in the market and we'll see if XRP is going to continue to rally to 60 cents or if this is the start of a reversal back down. So it's going to be a very, very important live. We'll go over what all these numbers mean. And I have it set up in a much better fashion through the fan system so that everybody can understand exactly what's going on here. And it's a more unified way to look at the charts. And you can kind of use this as a cheat sheet for everybody who's in here because we can see the numbers in real time. So as we push this out into real time, right now that resistance pushes up to about 54.2 cents. If we come across here towards the resistance, we'll go over this though, because we have a lot of stuff to discuss this evening. This will just make it a little bit easier for everybody who's trying to get targets here for if it does break down or continue up. So I do thank everybody for tuning in, and we will get through this in a timely fashion in a professional manner. Mark Caston, welcome in along with Wales, Josie Wales. Thank you both for being in Tom's Army for 3 months plus with the XP Meteor. CJ2 Pilot, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XRP Predictor. John Hall, good evening. Messium, welcome. Crypto J says, Tom for president. I appreciate that. Welcome in, brother. Brad, good evening. Mark Caston, thank you so much for telling everybody to hit that like button, as that is the only way to push us through the algorithm and be part of the recommendation. So if somebody comes on YouTube, they can see my content, whether it's their first time or they're a seasoned veteran finding their way back to the community. So we're going to go over the chart analysis. We're going to go over Bitcoin. We'll look at the news and notes, and we'll take a look where XRP sets up on the weekly candle close, which is in 38 minutes. So with that being said, make sure to hit that like button, and I'll catch you on the other side of this short intro. Good evening. 7:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, July 14th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So it's good to be back here with everybody, and I'd like to welcome in the new members and the old members that have found their way back to the community. Both groups are such an integral part of this community, it goes without even saying. The new members help bring a new spice, help bring a new vision, and help bring a new perspective into the community. The old members have turned this into a place of positivity, a place of helpfulness, and a place of winners. We don't play the victim, and we definitely don't tolerate negativity. We positivity over negativity, and we want to be helpful, not hurtful. So the identity that's been created from both groups is absolutely spectacular, and each and every day it gives me that passion to come in here to see exactly how we can take this in a further direction, and the consistency certainly breeds a response, not just from me, but the audience as well. John Smith, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Awesome seeing some of the longtime viewers in the house. Wow, wow, wow. Love you too, my friend, and thanks for tuning in. The Captain, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Oh, I love seeing that. And that is my face superimposed on that badge, I kid you not. The Captain, any thoughts on XDC? Lots of thoughts on XDC. I've actually have a position of 66,000 plus tokens of XDC. Bought the first one at 2.76 cents. And yesterday I bought an additional $556 on the update. I did a special update for XDC yesterday morning, late morning. Got about 900 views, so at least some of you watched it. Where I bought an additional 18,800 tokens at 2.98 cents, I believe it was. So it's up a little bit from there as we're at 3.1 cents, and I believe it's severely undervalued. And we'll see the direction it decides to take. It had an inverse head and shoulders in the short term, which could very well be a much longer term pattern as well. But at least in the short term, it dictates that we should have some kind of positive price momentum. With XRP right now, though, let's start there. Let's start there. Yes, XRPH was up about 8% today, the last I checked. We'll take a look at that, the Gatman. And thank you and Granddad for both being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. I love seeing it. I love seeing it. Daytona, welcome in. I love you too, my brother. Trading with J-Ride. Yes, thank you for not only being in Tom's Army for over 2 years, but also for telling everybody to hit that like button. By hitting that like button, it helps push this content in more ways than anybody could ever imagine. My audience averages about 1 in every 9.3 people hit that like button. This morning I had 1,400 views on my video. Got about 160 likes, 170 likes. So, keeps the ratio intact. But if we could just be at 1 in every 6, it would make such a tremendous difference for how many people we can reach. So, it's a little interesting here. XRP, although it is down a little bit, it put in this reversal in the 3-hourly. Jorge, welcome in, friend, and I'm glad to see you in here. Or in the 3-hourly, but in the 4-hourly, it also looks like we could possibly have a little bit of a reversal candle here. And it very well could just be speaking of the fact that we need to come out and retest lower numbers. Now, I did introduce this little fan thing to the audience yesterday, trying to explain what the fan system is. And then, too, also, I'll show you why you shouldn't pay for it, and I will just show you how to do it yourself. Because a lot of people, for whatever reason, they try to push that as a product to sell, which it doesn't need to be. So right now, if we look at this from smaller time frames, it's much easier to see what's going on here. This I need to readjust because you guys all seen on the opening how I accidentally switched it. This is supposed to be right there. It doesn't really change the resistance, but it does change that line, and we got to have it in the right spot. So right now, I would say we know we've got 50.5 cents in between here. It's just there's no real major support there. That's a nice layer. But if we come back, remember that 48.6 cent area is where you have to stay on top of to invalidate a wave 5 correction. And as of right now, we came up and it looks to be the case. But if we fall back below that, then our next support under that 48.8 is down there at about 45.4. Then it goes to 42.3 and 36.3. And this isn't just made up numbers. You've got the cup and handle down at 36 point, not the cup and handle. You've got the cup and handle at 42.3 cents, but you've got the falling channel at 36.35 cents. And then you've got this series of uptrends that have been started depending on which layer we want to go into. And this is how you create the fan system on a move. Whether it's a downward move or an upward move, you start connecting little uptrends that started, and then it becomes your little fan. Well, in the resistance areas now, it's if you push it into the future, that's at 58 cents. But yesterday, if we look at this, it was much farther down, and we knew a rejection at 53 cents was devastating. Rejection at 53 cents is brutal. So that's where that was at. If we looked at this yesterday, we came down below that 53.29, just up in this area. Right about 53.29. And then down here it was a little bit lower. But now if you look into recent times, that 53.10 needed to break. And then if you push it back up, you're talking about now 56, 57 cents above it. Underneath, we've got a solid 48.8 cents. But even this is going to move up a little bit with the time. So you're talking 49, but that big pivot point is at 48.6. So, I mean, a breakdown from here would bring you down around 49 cents. The only thing that could stop us is the 50.5 cent mark. But in reality, the uptrends that we've created in time, you know, it shows you exactly how this is going to have to play out. So yesterday I suggested if you wanted to try to trade between the trends that were formed. So if it came below here, yesterday at 53, you could play it to 51, and that's what happened at 51.5. Now that it broke below here, now technically it's telling you the door is open for a run down to 49 cents. Unless it were to come back up and invalidate this drop. It's very interesting because we've broken a little bearish here at the end of the day. But if we look at it in the weekly time frame, we'll go to a different chart just so it's easier to see. But on the weekly time frame, XRP, I mean, it's interesting. It looks like a weekly reversal candle. And we are well up above this midpoint. This 47.9 cents, it's not even close. This will be one of the bigger weekly engulfing candles in the bullish fashion that we've seen in a long time. It really is. The only problem is the one thing that does kind of suck a little bit, and we're kind of above it right now. We need to invalidate that death cross here. That's happened in the weekly. That weekly time frame, that death cross has happened. Now, those are typically lagging indicators. So now it could be the start of the reversal. The weekly candle is going to be a beautifully engulfing candle here at the end. It really is. Tanya, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. I really, really do. So there's a lot to look at when it comes to XRP. Is this just a typical consolidation of after a massive 40% rally after that, drop down to 37, 38 cent area? Or is this the end? We hit the resistance for a fourth time at, or what is that? Yeah, third time at 56.5 cents. And now the question is that the end? So I'm not saying it's the end, but that's the question that we have to ask ourselves. CJ2 Pilot, I too like the fan. I too like the fan the way I set it up. I think it'll be much easier for everybody to see in real time what's actually going on here. So, and that's what we're looking at. This is an easier way for me to do the technical analysis, especially with XRP, because there's so many variables going on here. Rick1, welcome in. I appreciate you tuning in and being part of, being a mod here. I appreciate you being a mod. I really, really do. Creative Mind, welcome in. So, I am enjoying this as well. So, right now, it's telling us if we can't get back above, and in current terms, about 53.9 cents. We're having a move down here, and it looks like it's all but certain. Probably we come back down below the 20-day. We might come back down and retest 49.1. But remember, there's that 50.5 cents that you cannot overlook. That could be that pivot layer. So, I mean, we could put it in here just so we don't forget. But you got that 50.5 cent mark. You know what? I don't even need to do this. Well, I guess I could do it like that, but 50.5 cents is definitely something to pay attention to. That could be the way to stop us from coming to 49.9 if this, in fact, is coming down. 45 minutes flip bearish. Weekly is very bullish. Smaller time frames that flip bearish. And we're going to have to come down to a support structure. So now it becomes, is that support structure all the way down here at 49.7? Could you hold it at 50.5? Could we just bounce out of here and retake 54? It's all possible. And we'll find out a lot here in the next couple of hours. We really, really will. Wow says, you're the best, Tom. Always thinking. I am always trying to think here. I sure am. The one thing that bothers me is I had an Ethereum trade for the copy trade. And it got stopped out overnight when I was sleeping. I went to my dad's today, so I never even got to pay attention to the Ethereum side. And I noticed it set up a perfect trade. Again, right where I had it open at 3,183. I sold out for like 1% because it stopped out overnight when I was sleeping. And I had every intention to watch that. And if it held that 3,171, that was such a perfect area. And it did while I was at my dad's, I noticed. And then it popped up. When I got home, I seen it was up 2.7%. I was like, oh, man. I knew that was a good trade setup. I really, really did. That's why I wish I wouldn't have put the stop on overnight. I wish I would have just let it play. But it is what it is. But it does give me solace in the fact that I could see in that area. Yeah, I went to my dad's house, JW, because he had to go out of town to Wisconsin during my son's birthday party here. So his 5th birthday was on Thursday. So we stopped over there, and we were able to hang out for like 3.5 hours over there, which was nice. So, and as we all get older, it's nice to spend time with our parents if we're blessed enough to have them around, so... Don't get to see my dad or mom as often as I'd like to, but I certainly take advantage. Creative Mind, I'm new to crypto. If I don't have any XRP, do I buy on green? I mean, you could, but that's not the way I do things. The way I do things is I try to buy when it comes down. So we were very green up to 55 cents. So if you're not in now, you've got to find one of these support structures. So the fans are great. The fan's great, obviously it is, but we've got to find a real support structure. So some missed a real big opportunity here when it came down to 38, 40 cent area. to buy that retest of the pattern formation that started all the way back in 2020 on the uptrend, but that downtrending resistance started back in January of 2018. So a lot of people do buy it on the green. I just find that an easy way when you buy it right on green to come down right away and be in the negative right when you buy in. Me personally, I try to buy support. So unfortunately for you right now, if you haven't bought in, you are absolutely in no man's land here. And it could be detrimental to make that first purchase here. To me, I never do it in these situations. I never do. So what I'd be looking for, and it all depends on your risk tolerance. For full disclosure, I bought mine at 34.6 cents on this recent rally from 23. And I had sold some off when we had the big move of, it moved like 3x. Or 2.5, 3x. And then I bought some more back. I never went below 10,000 in holdings. But I bought more back with the XRP Bitcoin pairing, and I've since sold that out now after we had that massive rally yesterday. And I was transparent. I said my numbers, and I had a nice little increase of about 10,000 tokens that were through the Bitcoin pair, XRP Bitcoin pairing, but that has rallied in time some 30%, so it was time to let it consolidate and get rid of it again. And now I'm just waiting for consolidation. So me, if I was you, I would not buy XRP at this moment until I seen, and to me, I don't like buying it when it's over 50 and preferably sub 40. So first thing you'd have to see, my friend, and no, you're welcome. I definitely wanted to acknowledge your question because it's an excellent question. And there's a lot of people that watch my content that'll find their way in here for the first time, whether it's during the live or after it's released. So I absolutely love the question. My own personal analysis here, engulfing candles of the downside on the 30. We've broke bearish through the 20-day. Looks like we had a topping formation up here. Looks like a little bear flag formed below. And the traditional M topping reversal on a bear flag seems to have been encapsulated here. Which leads me to believe we're coming down to either 50.5 or that 49.1 cents, which that's not even accurate, because if we look at, I guess it is pretty accurate, because if you come through, so it's going to have to hit somewhere down there. Now, if it comes below here, we've got a big pivot point at 48.6 cents. And that is where, if you're below that, wave 5 correction could ensue. And the wick off accumulation suggested that a wave 5 correction should be in order down to 36.2 cents approximately, if not worse. But that could have been invalidated with the move up, but that could have just been, hey, we were way oversold. This was our exhaustion candle. We had a little built up pressure and a little bit of built up catalyst because it was the 1 year anniversary of July 13th of last year. There are no coincidences, and if it happened any other day, I would have thought it was a more legit rally. But be that as it may, if we could hold some support structures, I still wouldn't rule it out. But now could become the pain after a nice push. So let's see if we can hold some of these structures, and then, you know, we'll see if we can continue this rally. But buying it right here is going to be tricky. And all I would tell everybody is if you're buying it here, why wasn't it bought at 38 or 40? If you're only buying it here because it was green and it was very, it became positive pump, that's where you can get yourself into a lot of trouble. You're going to want to buy the asset because it's actually in a rotation that you believe in. And then even if it goes down, you'll buy it every so many percent down so that you can continue to add on and lower your position average. Other than that, don't just buy it because it rallied and then you're like, oh my God, I missed it. That's the worst thing you can do. Just let it settle now. And I'm not a financial advisor, so what I know is absolutely nothing. So I wouldn't listen to me because but what is a financial advisor anyhow? Somebody who reads by the book, takes your money over the top for you to invest in shit that you could easily do. Yep. They're not taking any real risk. So, yeah, Gala, Tanya, I remember we talked about it yesterday. Hardcore. And I was trying to get someone to convince me to buy it yesterday when it was making this reversal. Back here somewhere. It was around 217 yesterday. And I didn't buy it. I wish I would have. I said I have every reason to make a trade yesterday. And now if you are looking to make a trade, make sure that it's back testing this on a breakout and it would hold the 222 level. We hold the 222 level and we push out. We've got a little move up here to about the 257 mark. That's why I was so interested yesterday. But I had made a couple different trades, so I didn't want to just pile into everything, but like I made the XDC trade. I had H bar, as everybody knows, and it popped up 7 or 8% right away, so I'm very happy about that. So it was one of those things where I was unsure, and I was looking for a little bit of confluency, but I didn't get a lot of back and forth. I got a lot when it came to XDC and XLM, but and Algo, we talked about Algo as well, and it popped off like we thought it could. That's another one. It's another one. We talked about the exact move on the breakout. It could come up to 15.9 cents. We were pretty dead on that push out too. That happened after we logged off. So, you know, there's a lot of opportunity that started to develop. XRP in this case ended up being in front of it. And our premonition was right about Bitcoin, that it was about to pop. And, you know, now we're kind of, I'm telling you, in the crypto market, we are absolutely in no man's land right now. We're bouncing off this resistance, but until Bitcoin gets up and over that 70,400, it's a big thing. Yes, I cannot afford the double cheeseburger either, Tanya, but at least I have some crypto. At least I have some crypto, and I have my precious metals and commodities. Oh, absolutely, Bitcoin's on a cup and handle. I'm so glad you said that. This is a big part of why I think Bitcoin is not bearish. I absolutely think there's something bigger in the making, and unless we were to break this consolidation, that's a very big handle being made here. So a very big cup and handle. Trading with J-Ride, not only in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moonbat, says that is not enough support I am showing, Tom. But I'm going to send XRP Future Millionaire $10 of my hard-earned money, which is always, always greatly appreciated, JW. Thank you so much. Oh my God, Casper. My beautiful soul, JW, trading with J-Ride. My beautiful soul here. My beautiful soul. Remember we were talking about, well, I don't want to speak in the past tense, but I was, nope, that's past tense as well. The appearance here, to keep it in the new, to keep it in the up to the date and not speaking in yesteryear, the appearance here of the chart looks like we're attempting a reversal in the weekly. If we start lining this up, and JW, I had sent you a message in the Telegram, but nobody had responded, so I just deleted it. But when it was at 2176 the other day, which it's right where it's at, I talked about how his and I don't want to speak in the past tense, but I did send you a message. I don't know if you've seen it, because I did delete it after a few hours. But I was talking about how it looked like Casper was getting ready. And what I'm looking at here as a potential buy right now, and just hear me out. See how it did this little swing right here? That's a very bullish consolidation. And now we've got what appears to be a W reversal. You could even say, you know what, Tom? I'm going to try to buy it on this reversal. But I got to sell it if it comes below here at 214. Fine. It's 1.6%. But I would clearly say if you're going to at least ride it to there, yeah, you could do that. But remember, there's a W reversal even lower. So, and this looks like an inverse head and shoulders. Well, not inverse head and shoulders, but in the short term it could be. But what it looks like is a big W reversal. And it looks like it's going to be hunting this resistance up here at some point. And right now that gets us up to about 2.4. I think, yes, I did see. I thank you for your response. Oh, I'm excellent, J-Ride. I'm glad that you've seen that. And you know, sometimes I put stuff in there and then I'll delete it after a while just so somebody doesn't think I'm trying to influence them. But I targeted you for that because we've been talking back and forth. But that's a W reversal here. So that's a trade setup right there. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's a trade setup with a stop loss. First stop at 2143. And that would be your first stop loss area if you're looking to make that trade. Now, if you're looking at this right now, does everybody, I want to know your honest opinion. And it's breaking bullish here, even in the hourly. Do you think this is a nice trade setup? I want to know. Does everybody, Devin, you've been buying it as if it's going out of style. Well, I can tell you right now that you will likely be rewarded for what you're doing. I can't tell you when and how, but I can tell you're likely going to be rewarded in a pretty big way. In a pretty big way. And it's funny because a lot of exchanges, they don't hold Casper. They don't. A lot of exchanges, for whatever reason, they don't have Casper. You won't find it on BITUNIX, but HOTCOIN absolutely has it. HOTCOIN has it. So that's an option. They have it in the spot market, and that's the most important thing. So, and you can't futures trade it, but that's okay because you know the liquidity pool is not as big, which is what you want. Which is what I want, too. So with Casper, I don't know. I really don't know that trading with J-Ride, because on my chart, the one that I am more willing to look at for the all-time highs when it didn't go crazy, you know, on this chart, 6.6 cents. But there's also other charts, and it's the reason I use this one, where it actually piles up and you see it up at 40, 50, $1.36, you know, all those other charts. So I try to keep it in the short perspective because it's very confusing, especially if you're a newcomer, because it looks like it's down such a large percentage. That's why I keep it simple with this chart. But yeah, if you want to look at the top 40 or 50, if you look at the way top on the longer charts, daily time frame engulfed to the top side. So there wasn't anything real bad about the candle here on the 3 hourly. We created what looks like a W reversal, folks, at the 200-day on the 3 and 4 hourly, which is a good sign. This is a good sign. 4 hourly is a reversal candle here as well, and we are up. That's going to be tricky. Yeah, 2185 is actually a good spot. 2185 is good. We've got 13 minutes to close here. I mean, we're so undervalued here with it. Look at that big W reversal. This should come all the way up. I'm telling you, this should bounce out of here, and we should have about 15% if this plays true. The only thing stopping us is we've got about 2% up here to 2235. Yeah, 2% to 2235. That's what's stopping us right now. That's it. But honestly, it's pretty interesting here. It's pretty interesting, honestly. This is pretty interesting to me. Because I see a setup here. And how many people are in here? 82 people, 73 likes. Do you see that same reversal taking place in real time? You can see a W reversal down here. Whoops. We can see a W reversal right here at 209, and then you got a bigger reversal at 2. You know what? That doesn't look like a bad opportunity there. And yeah, it is Sunday. You know, you got a lot of stuff that is going to be coming back onto the marketplace. So yeah, there's a lot of things that are going to be coming into play. But Casper right now in that spot at 2178, I was like, that looks like it's doing something. At 2188, it looks like it's putting in a weekly reversal. FOMO Sunday on Casper. For this Sunday, and man, do I love Casper. And it feels very empty without it. Let's see if this actually went through. Here's this. Okay. So, what I decided to do here, and it could be speculative at best. It could be speculative. We've seen the bounce off of H-bar right now, and it looks like it's going to continue. That's a very bullish continuation look for H-bar in the 4 hourly. So, I like what I'm seeing here. I like what I'm seeing. Now, obviously, I'm not telling you to go into a futures trade with any of this stuff. I'm not. I would never tell you to do that. But what I am saying is it's intrigued me here, and I like that rotation. I like that rotation. So what I did, and I'm okay. I don't mind telling everybody what I do. So don't think I'm like I'm shy. I'm not afraid. Believe me. If I lose money, I'm trading. You know, I'm trading. I'm trying to do this in a fashion that I think it's in a good spot. So I got 40. Let me see this real quick. Because some of it didn't go through. So I'm going to do it again for the last part. Because that's just what I do. And I apologize. This is taking a second. But, you know, I like to be transparent with my audience. So we see where Casper's at. It looks like a nice W reversal there. It does. It looks like a W reversal is set up there. So I bought, it ended up being 47,965 tokens of Casper. It was just over $1,000 worth. Like $1,038. So that's something that I've been tempted to buy. And every time I look at it, I know in my heart that I want to buy this rotation if it comes up. And if it does break down, if this W reversal, if you don't want to hold it, and listen to this, on $1,000 at a 4% drop, let's just say it comes down and that's a $40 risk right now. You have a nice W reversal and then a W reversal Gartley here. This is a beautiful setup right here. Has a golden cross in the 2 hourly. I'm willing to take my chances and try to push this 15% rally up to 2.5 and even more. But we'll see what happens. H-bar makes us look like a genius from yesterday as we're already up better than 8%. What is it? 7-8% already. Bought the structure at 6.6. Now it looks like a beautiful consolidation and it should continue up. This is a beautiful back test on the 20-day. How many of you think H-bar is going to continue its appreciation? How many think H-bar is going to continue the appreciation? And I know, Tanya, you're very excited because you bought with me yesterday. Very excited. Actually, you might have bought before me, too, because you've been adding on. But I think just from the move yesterday and now, I mean, what a beautiful, beautiful turn of events for us. I was very happy to see that. So the next resistance here would be up about the 752 level. So, got a nice engulfing candle in the 2 hourly. Looks like we're going in a unified fashion. See if there's anything that hasn't popped. ZIL is setting up a big move. Notice how we got back within this formation, or back above this blue line. That is a huge, huge move that is setting up. And you see how in the daily we're back above this blue line? Look when we lower this into the 30-minute. Look at this massive reversal that just took place. You see what's happening here? And I'm not going to tell everybody that this is a trade that you should take or you shouldn't take. But if this validates this, and it's very simple. Very, very simple. It did. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, bam. The moment it breaks this resistance at 1655, that's the validation. And it's going to come up. It's going to come up. There's going to be a little bit of a rally. A little bit of a rally indeed. And it's behind V-Chain in quite a way. And if we look at V-Chain, V-Chain's already made this move. It came all the way down. And now it's all the way up to its resistance. V-Chain is much ahead of ZIL right now. And ZIL often follows, or V-Chain will follow ZIL. It just depends which one goes quicker. And look at the rally that V-Chain's had here in the last day or two. And look at ZIL. ZIL is waiting for the pop-off here. And my estimation is ZIL is going to target that 1782 level. And that would be the first short-term target if it holds this consolidation. That's about an 8.5% move. You've got about 1.87% underneath. And honestly, it's not a bad setup. It's not. Oh, Jeffrey, we'll get back into the XRP chart. I'm just bouncing around. I like to bounce around to see opportunity. But yeah, the XRP chart I've talked about. I talked about for 25 minutes when I first came on. And if you want me to, you know, if I get off track, it's very easy to pull me on track. Send me a YouTube super chat and tell me what you want me to talk about. But I do try to get through everything. So XRP right now, we're really looking at a possible pull down to 49.19 cents or 50.5 cents if we can't get back on top of 53.9 here in the short order. It looks like we're making a push back down here, if I'm being honest. Candle closes in 5 minutes, so I'll be very excited to see that. Free Toast, welcome in. I appreciate you continuing to have some due diligence for our community. It means a lot to me. It does mean a lot to me, my friend. It really, really does. Let's see what I'm looking at here. Zill. And this is how I stay on track of the market too. When I can put the whole market together like this, it makes things a hell of a lot easier when I start to look at positioning. And you know what, with Zill, I could open up a copy trade, but I can't with the group because Zill is not available on HOTCOIN for copy trading, unfortunately. But if I'm looking at Zill and I wanted to make a copy trade, I would take it from where it's at and I'd put a stop loss underneath that 161 level. So if I made a trade here on Zill, and then I'll go back to XRP, ooh, it's at 1636. That's actually better. You'd have a 1.2, so that'd be, for every $100 you spent, that's a $12 risk. So on a 10x trade, let's just say you do 500 bucks, make it a $5,000 trade, that's a $60 risk. So it could, Daniel, it absolutely could. The XRP one especially, some of these are just catching up to XRP, and it looks like Zill's lining up. It also looks like Casper could be lining up. Just like H-bar looked like it was lining up yesterday, now it went from 6.6 to 7.1. I am very high hopes on XDC as I have 66,000 tokens. We were able to buy it on that inverse head and shoulders. And then we made the second purchase on the back test here. And now it's made a bounce out, and that's a beautiful bull flag, folks. I'm telling you, everybody who bought with us on this push up is going to be rewarded handsomely with, and some, you know, might not think it's a big reward. But from 276, we're already up on that by about 12%. And then we bought it again down here for the second purchase. So that purchase is up about 4% from yesterday. So about 4.5% on the one bought yesterday and 12.4% overall from the first purchase. So looking pretty good here already. And then you should expect more appreciation up to that first level at 324. So I think this is a beautiful job on XDC. And for anybody who's paying attention, you shouldn't just be paying attention to that tiny inverse head and shoulders. Look at this pattern. Look at this pattern that's set up here. That's a beautiful descending structure. And these are bullish consolidations. And one could argue the entirety of this is on an inverse formation, head and shoulders. So we haven't looked at the XRP Bitcoin pairing yet, as it had the beautiful rally. And I'm just transparent with the audience, so everybody knows when I bought, when I sell with the XRP Bitcoin pairing. And I know all of you know when I sold the most recent, which was yesterday, when it hit my resistance. I'm very transparent. I said when it got to the 945 level, I would sell, and if it didn't breach over what I bought at 746. That 746 to 945, I did not get 945, and I'm not going to act like I did. But 746, the move up here was 30% roughly. I got it down here at 924. 24% move that was. So I'm very happy with that. And now I'm waiting for a retest where it might be. Now, the bottom line is I don't know. I don't know. I'm very happy where I sold it because it's come down a nice amount since I got rid of it. And it's not because I don't like it. It's not because I think there's something wrong with it. And now it's down 7% from where I sold it. Just I have my own expectations. I targeted the 945 on the move out. It hit the 945. And now I'm resetting and assessing. That money that I sold out of that instantly, part of it went into H-bar, which I should have just threw it all in because it went up better than 6-7% yesterday. But right now, if this W reversal does not hold, which we have an engulfing candle, we could come all the way down to the 200 at 826. So, and it looks like a little head and shoulders formed here, and that's dangerous. Yep. Daniel, that's why I say I don't believe in coincidences. I believe it was set up for it to pump like it did yesterday. But now here's your most dangerous time for the entire week in crypto. The weekly candle has closed. Bitcoin had a phenomenal close, well over 60,000. That was a big milestone for the week, and it shattered it, folks. Absolutely obliterated it. So XRP now at 52.1, and I am dying to find a spot to get back in to a futures contract. And I would like it to be around XRP. I still have my tokens, folks. Just because I sold the XRP Bitcoin pairing, the additional tokens are gone, but you guys all know that's my swing trading. I never get rid of those 12,000 tokens I have. Anything above it, I always say 10, but let's be honest. There's 12,000 tokens. Why sugarcoat it? I never get rid of them. Right now it's at 34.5 cents is the average. And until this bull market actually takes off and gets to higher levels, I'm not going to sell it for mediocre gains. I'll buy some over the top like I do with the pairing and yada 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 so that I can make profit. But I don't like to leave an empty bag when it comes to certain areas. You want to go copy trade with me? Excellent, Daniel. Look in the video description below for HOTCOIN. And you'll find that link. And then once you follow through the link, go to the copy trade section and type in XRP Future MIL. Right now, on our $100 challenge, we're up about 20.6% right now. So that means we're up $20.06. So we're up over 20% cumulatively trading our $100. And right now I've made 9 trades and we're 5 wins, 4 losses. So, and yesterday, even though I won it by 1%, it was a major loss because when I went to bed, Ethereum sold out on the stop loss. And I would have never put it on if I wasn't sleeping. And then I did not see it when it came down to that 2,170 or even the 2,180 earlier. Because when I went to my dad's, it was 2,197. And I had 2 buy areas at, you already know the first, at 2,183. And then 2,171. And had I been home paying attention, I could have took advantage of that. Or if I just would have had the confidence not to have the stop loss on it. It's that simple. But because I went to bed, that's just a general rule I have. But anyhow, we are up over 20% cumulatively together, so I can't argue about that. And yeah, it could go down and it could go up, but right now where it stands, it's about just over 20% cumulatively, so I'm never going to be mad about that. Weekly time frame looks excellent. I mean, the daily has an engulfing candle here, but the weekly time frame looks really good. We had that reversal candle, and we have an engulfing candle back up. Now, the important thing is we hold that 517. I'm just going to tell you, we need to hold that area. That 505 is irrelevant. Let's call it the 515. Because if we come below there, yeah, let's call it 515. If we come below there, that weekly death cross is intact. And this very well could pull down. Right now, we're trying to push a W reversal. So the bottom line is that we're trying to push this W reversal. And forget this 50.5. 51.5 is more important. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, let me break this down into smaller time frame. And we've got, this is the setup here. So right now, we're targeting 49.19. If 51.5 breaks, you technically could hold 50.5, but it's really interesting here. And now with the candle close, the weekly looked pretty good. We had a weekly reversal candle, so if we're going to get hot here, we could have a hot start to this Sunday evening. And that's just not for XRP. I'm talking in certain cryptos that haven't made the move. Casper, I would definitely be watching out for. I would definitely be watching for, who did we just see? ZIL. I'd be looking at ZIL as well. It's at 16.45. ZIL kind of popped up just a tiny bit after the close. Not much, but I'd watch ZIL. So, but I mean, that's basically what I wanted to talk about in this live. I'm not leaving just yet. It's already been 45 minutes. Wow. But that's what I wanted to talk about. And if you're looking to trade XRP or your favorite crypto, USA or abroad, look in the video description below. You've got BITUNIX, lowest spot and leverage trading fees in the USA and abroad. I mean, as far as I know, you don't need a VPN or KYC unless you're sending or receiving from a bank account. And then HOTCOIN, if you want to trade the XRP Bitcoin pairing, they have IOTA, IOTAX, and a few others. And then you can also copy trade me. That's also in the video description below and our pinned comments. Both of them are fantastic choices. I have money and I trade on both. So it's the best I can put it. Make sure you get ahead of the exchanges. Make sure you deposit on the exchanges as well before you're ready to make the trade. Don't just let it sit there for the last second and then try to do everything at once. The rising wedge. I do see the rising wedge on Bitcoin. Or, let's see. It looks like it's creating, it could be creating a rising wedge. That's what I was trying to see with this little setup here. I was trying to see if a wedge was forming here. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say. It very well could. It very well could be. But Bitcoin put in a very bullish reversal here at the end of the week. I can't even stress it enough. Even the weekly candle that was getting obliterated, look at this weekly close and where it's starting this week. That doesn't look all too bearish to start the week. That is a big pull-up. It's just we have to invalidate this M-topping reversal and just hold it as a bull flag. Bull flag hold, you're coming up here near 88K. So Casper, I think, is going to be a huge winner down the road. I just think in the short term, it's got a little bit of mojo in it. Just like I think Zill probably does as well. But I get going here in a minute. I'm glad I was able to come on because, you know, you never know in life how sometimes you can come on, sometimes you can't. You never know when something's going to happen. So, yeah. We've got that. We've got XLM that was up better than 2.5% yesterday. It outperformed XRP. So right now, if I was anticipating, I would say probably, it's so tough. That's a bearish pattern formation at least. If I'm looking at this, I mean, let's be honest. Are we in the early stages of that inverse head and shoulders on the inverse right arm? If it comes down like that, holy smokes. I mean, just look at this. Boom. Boom, boom, or it's like, I mean, that could be a nice, is what creating an M pattern? Which one? I mean, if this doesn't do the inverse head and shoulders, absolutely on XLM it could be. It absolutely could be. That's why it becomes speculative. Is there an inverse head and shoulders forming? Or are these creating M-topping reversals? A lot of times you get what looks like an inverse head and shoulders, and then it ends up breaking down, and then you see the M-topping reversal. Oh, there's many beautiful people in here this evening, JW. Many, many beautiful people indeed. XRP Healthcare, before I forget, it's back up over 3 cents. It was up about 15% on the day. And if anybody ever watches me when it comes to this, I told everybody to cease buying until it came back down to the 2-3 level. And that was because it had a beautiful breakout in the back test for it to stay bullish. Had to break down and retest the old pattern formation. As I always say, I always anticipate a retest of a pattern breakout, even if it looks like it's going parabolic before the next move. And that's exactly what happened here. It went all the way up to 8 cents. And then it came all the way down to retest that area. Now to confirm this, you've got to get over 2 layers. 3.33 and 3.7 cents. If it does that, you're off to the races. But it's good to see XRP Healthcare off to a big move today. Gold's back online, down about $3.50. I'm a little nervous that to start the week, gold's going to have a weekly reverse or a reversal to start. And on the 4-hourly, that's absolutely what's starting to happen. Is I was nervous because we didn't break over 2,423 on any of the attempts to end the week. And it just looks like we need to back test here a little bit. 2,377 to be precise. And then if that doesn't hold, you could come all the way to 2,200, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm in the back of my head, I'm hoping for the best. So, I don't know. That's pretty much what I got, though. I think that was a damn good live. A good 50 minutes. Thank you all. Mall Talk. I had a long day today. Make sure to hit that like button, and I'll talk to everybody later. I'm just glad we could do a live. I want to touch base with Julie, and I want to see what's going on. Oh, it's Daniel. Gold is super bullish, and it would be even more bullish in the immediate short term if it could bounce off any of these real short supports here. Oh, man, and it could have already bounced. So I'm hoping it just bounces out. I've got the majority of my wealth is in precious metals, as most of you know. And gold's around 1,800 for most of my buys. Silver anywhere between 17 or 14 and 20. It's but even silver's looking fucking interesting. Had a nice move up, but getting rejected to end the week at 31.30. It just tells me it needs to come back down a little bit if it does. And if it does, it could just mean that we need to keep validating at 27.56. But it might not even come down that far, even if it has to consolidate. We'll just see how this starts. I don't want to get too hot and heavy into this. Yeah, I got my first. I bought gold as cheap as around 1,500, 1,600. I bought some around 1,700 to 1,900. Nothing around 2,000. I refused. Nothing even over 1,900. I didn't really want to buy any. The gold-silver ratio was in my favor for a very long time, being plus 90 to 1, even over 100 to 1 for some. And silver I bought as low as around 12, 13 bucks and as high as 24 to 25, but usually cut the buys off when it was over $20. But I loaded up a lot. So most people have a big savings account. I don't. Most of my currency I don't like to hold. I like to hold money. So most of my money went into precious metals, and man, oh man, I'm almost seeing stars now when it goes up like this, because let's face it, it's hard to make $1. And when you see it being earned just based on an investment, it is just a unbelievable thing. Have a blessed evening, everybody, and I thank you all for tolerating with me.